Hello all, Dave Paolo from Maximus Internet Marketing. Today is Wednesday, and this is Web Wednesday number 12. Sorry I missed you guys last week. I had a crazy busy day and didn't have time to jump on. So I'm going to make up for it today. So a couple things I just want to talk about. Talk about the internet, different things going on the internet, different ways to advertise, different ways to get yourself out there. And what I really want to talk about mainly is this was inspired by receiving the Yellow Pages in the mail. I used to work for Verizon Yellow Pages, and this is a Verizon Yellow Pages book. I saw this and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. This book used to be probably about 4 or 5 times thicker when I worked there, like 15-20 years ago. So at the time when I worked there, it was Verizon Yellow Pages, and they had superpages.com. Not sure if that's still around or not, but they were kind of jumping into the online arena. The book was still pretty strong back then, but I seen the shift going online, and at the time, I did sell a lot of their online product because I believed that was more lucrative for my clients, because that's where everybody was headed. And but at the time, there was still a lot of just confusion about the internet. And I remember talking to, maybe some people that did still advertise in the book, and they thought the internet was a fad, and they thought it wasn't going to be around very long, and it was laughable because it was so obvious that it was, the convenience of it, and technology, and people always like better technology, and people always want to use things that are new, and at the time, the book was super expensive. Looking at it now, there's mostly a lot of just filler crap in here, not really ads anymore. So, I can't even tell you the last time I opened up one of these and actually looked. But it was funny when I left Verizon Yellow Pages. I went to yellowpages.com, and I was one of the first 50 employees there, and was there for about a year until I went and worked for my buddy Lance. It was a startup at the time at One SEO, and then later went on to start my own company. But I'll never forget one of the first appointments that I walked in at when I was at One SEO. The books were still kind of prevalent then, but the person had 2 Yellow Pages books stacked up, and their computer monitor was actually sitting on it. So that's how they were using it. So I kind of knew I was in the right place at that time. But what that brings me back to is just, at the time when people thought the internet was a fad, and you look where it's at now, and you it's just, I'm going to Google this and look for something. Like it's common, it's just common talk every day. It's just part of life now. At the time, people thinking, hey, the internet was a fad, this isn't going to be around, blah, 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 blah. And that was kind of like the opinion of a lot of business owners out there. And it was funny. And what I'd run into a lot of times was, well, I don't use the internet. Bob the Builder, I don't use the internet. I'm like, okay, Bob, that's great, but your customers do. So that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today, because when you see other things out there, like TikTok or Snapchat or anything like that, and people look at them and they say, oh, well, I don't use that, I don't care, it's not, it's a fad, blah, blah, blah. Well, the internet was a fad 20 years ago, and look at it now. So, and just because you don't use TikTok doesn't mean your target audience does not use TikTok. Does that make sense? Like, you're not advertising to yourself. You're not trying to bring awareness to yourself. You're not trying to be in front of yourself. You're trying to be in front of people that might need your service or your product. So, just because you do not use TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram or any of these other online platforms, that does not mean that your clients and customers don't as well, and you want to be in front of them. And just internet use overall, everyone pretty much uses it now. So, if you're from 18 to 30, I think it's like 99% of that age group uses it. 30 to 49, like 95% use it. 50 to 64, 88% use it. And 65 plus, I think like 70% use it. Everyone's on the internet in some way, shape, or form, whether they're logging onto a computer, a tablet, or their phone, using apps, using social media, Googling something, whatever it is, people are on the internet. So now how do you get in front of them? Google ads, SEO, that kind of stuff, to me is always going to be more efficient because someone is specifically looking for your product or service. They're taking the time to go on to Google or Yahoo or Bing and searching for something and looking for something. That's a very, very solid lead, right? But that doesn't mean that, Facebook ads and Instagram ads and LinkedIn, these things are all super, super important as well. You need to be on them as well. And look at LinkedIn, specifically. They've been around since 2002. And for years, it's always just been, a professional place to go on, see someone's information. It's like an online resume, basically. You can contact employers. People use it more for employment. But now, in the last, I would say, year and a half, you're noticing more people being active on there. It's almost used like a Facebook, but you're not getting as much, crazy other opinions and stuff as you do. So LinkedIn's a very, very good tool to try to find someone to do business with because you're able to go on there, send it out to an audience of other professionals, and you get your messaging across. So, in 2002, that was not what it was used for, but it has adjusted to that now. So are you on LinkedIn? Or are you putting content out on LinkedIn? If you're not, why not? Because there's potential business there. So you got to adjust with the times with these things, and don't ever look at something like a TikTok or Snapchat and say, it's garbage, I'm not on there, I don't care. There's so many different things. Start looking at YouTube. YouTube's the second biggest search engine out there. It's owned by Google now as well. So, keep that in mind. YouTube ads are very good because you could target someone that is viewing a video and they're viewing that video because they're interested in that video. And if you sell a product or service that is associated with what they're looking for, your ads can show up. That's very, very effective. Start looking into streaming services. Most people don't even watch cable anymore. Most people are on streaming services now. So for that reason, it might be a good idea to be on there as well. So don't look at any of these things just because you do not use them as not a good tool to advertise on or to have a presence on or to pump content out on, because just because you're not on there, just like Bob the Builder didn't like the internet because he didn't use it, well, who gives a shit? Your customers do. So look at these things holistically and say, hey, I think my target audience might be using this and it might be a good idea for me to be on there. So that's kind of just what I want to throw out there today. Don't ever look at something just because you don't use it as not a good tool to get in front of your target audience. Look at the internet 20 years ago. Look at Facebook. Look at Instagram, 5, 10, 6 years, whatever it is, and see how effective they are now. Look at Google now and compared to before. These things just grow and grow and grow and grow, and you always got to keep on top of it as a business owner or as a marketing, knowing that these things are good tools for you to get in front of your target audience. So again, this is Dave the Paolo for Maximus Internet Marketing. This is Web Wednesday number 12. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.